As you may know, I have a YouTube channel, and I'll just play the audio and maybe show pictures so people will hear you and I speaking while they look at pictures of Malaysia, if that's okay.
Oh, I see. Okay. This is, looks very interesting.
Okay. How long have you been coming to Malaysia?
Well, I'm originally from Malaysia, but I've lived in Scotland for 50 years. So home is really Scotland, but we go back, we went, so let's say, like we bought an apartment about 14 years ago. So we've been going back regularly for the last 14 years. But before then, we would kind of visit Malaysia maybe once a year, every other year. So we're slightly different in the sense of, if you're thinking of like two Europeans or British going out there, because, you know, I've got kind of a bit of know-how saying that though Malaysia's changed a lot in the last 50 years. And I've also got some family there. My husband's Welsh, so he comes along, and we decided we wanted to escape the British or the Scottish winter. So we're like swallows. We spend 5 months a year in Malaysia.
Oh, that's lovely. So what part of Scotland do you live?
We live up in a fishing port called Peterhead, biggest fishing port in Europe, but it's east coast near Aberdeen.
Okay, my sister lives in Glasgow.
Okay, yeah, my granddaughter's in university there.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely city, yeah.
So you're originally Malaysian, and so you're also an EU, I suppose British citizen also now then?
I am a British citizen, yes. In Malaysia, you have to choose either Malaysian or British. You can't be both.
I see. This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. In this interview, I speak to someone about the cost of living in Malaysia. They've been retired in Malaysia for 14 years. They're snowbirds. They come down for about 5 months of the year, and they talk about the costs of living here and what it's like living here. If you're curious about what it costs to live all over the world, just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video and start reading our Retire Cheap reports. Okay, back to our phone interview. So when you're in Malaysia, what area did you buy your apartment? Where do you stay in Malaysia? What area?
We bought a lovely low-density apartment in, as I said, about 15 years that's coming up. In an area called Sunway Damansara. It's near Kota Damansara. It's PJ, it's Petaling Jaya area. Kuala Lumpur, and Petaling Jaya is a satellite town in Malaysia. You know, when I left it, it was just a small little place, but it's really expanded. The area we live in is like quite near IKEA, or IKEA as the Malaysians say it, and the curve. We're very much like the golden triangle of Petaling Jaya.
I see. So,
and also very near the MRT, which is very, very convenient.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually in Kuala Lumpur myself right now in the Ampang area. So.
Oh, that's right. That's quite far away. I used to live in the Ampang area when I was in Malaysia, as a young person.
Right. So do you spend half the year here, would you say?
Yes, I mean 5 months, instead of 6 months. So we have 7 months in Scotland and 5 months. But because we are both British, we have to leave the country like every 3 months or 90 days. So we tend to kind of visit the areas around, like we go to Vietnam. Because AirAsia is very good. You get some really amazing airfares, like a year in advance. Like, this year we're going to Hanoi again because we love Vietnam. The pound is still around about 5.3.
Right.
So still very good value, yeah.
And you're right. It's I think for most people, it's so easy to get around Southeast Asia, and the visa period is so long just for you don't need a visa to come here, and so that's what I do too. I come for a few months, then I'll go to Thailand for a month, and then I'll come back here for a few, maybe go to Vietnam. What are some other places that you like to go? So you're going to go to Hanoi to visit?
Last year we got a very good deal with 𝐴𝐸𝐴𝐸. We went to Osaka, and that was amazing, you know. Obviously that was a lot more expensive, but I always wanted to visit Japan. And so, but most of the time, well, we go to Thailand. Personally, I love Vietnam. I mean, I'm a cookery lecturer, retired. So, and I taught, I've been teaching Oriental cooking in Scotland. So I love food, and personally, I do not like Thai food. I think it's very hot or very sweet. I prefer Vietnamese food. So we've been, and also from the visiting tourist point of view, we love history. We loved Cambodia. We loved Angkor Wat. And, you know, and it was an amazing place to visit. People are friendly. Thailand is, I'm not a city person. I didn't like Bangkok. It's very polluted and congested. I suffer from asthma, and it did me no favors. So, you know, a lot of people I know like Thailand. There's quite a lot of, I've met a lot of people in Malaysia, like Expat. There's an Expat magazine, which is quite helpful. But also because I have got local connections, and, you know, and I love, like, I go to the local market. Food's very cheap. You know, it's so easy to live in Malaysia because you get food from all over the world. You know, and as you know, in Scotland, we have the best beef, Aberdeen Angus. So what we do is, like, we try to eat a lot of local food. Well, we're in Malaysia, and because we have the choice of having, like, all the berries, which are the best we get at our doorstep. So we tend to eat, like, more tropical fruits food in Malaysia, and then back in Scotland we eat all the berries, you know.
Right.
So you still can get stuff depending on your budget, but you can live very cheaply in Malaysia. You know, they have a lot of these places that do economy rice, so they have all the variety of dishes that you can just, it's so much cheaper than cooking yourself.
Yes.
And so you can pick up a meal so cheaply. We found a place in Kota Damansara called the DU Cafe, D for Delta, U for Uniform. And he has all the best Penang food. He's originally from Penang. I'm from Penang, so I know my food. Unfortunately, I know I saw your blog. You don't get as good food in Penang anymore, not from my era, where it was just a traditional, really good quality food, but that's the way the world's going. But in Kuala Lumpur, you can still get a really good 𝐻𝐸𝐴𝐸. If you go to this DU Cafe, I'm not paid to advertise them, but the food's good. You get, the guy is from a place called 𝐼𝐸𝐵 in Penang, so he does Robert's 𝐻𝐸𝐴𝐸. You get this lovely dish called lobak, which is different types of like tofu and stuff. And also like a good prawn mee and curry mee. So in one place in this cafe, it's got like tables outside with stools, and also an inside bed.
Well, that's lovely. I'd put that on my list of things to do. If you could give it an example, like what is a typical dish there? How much does it cost to eat there roughly?
Right. If you go for 𝐻𝐸𝐴𝐸, which is the rice noodles with all the lovely, you know, it's well known. Everyone knows 𝐻𝐸𝐴𝐸, and it's like 𝐻𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐻 and 𝐾𝐈𝐒𝐻, 𝐶𝐸𝐿, 𝐻𝐸𝐴𝐸, which is like, I would say similar to tagliatelle, but made of rice with like prawns and stuff, and it's a la carte, which means he cooks it fresh as you order. And that's the other tip. When you're in Malaysia, try and eat foods that are freshly cooked. And like, don't go for the curries and like the nasi lemak or the Indian food. If you want to go for that, have it for lunch, breakfast, because in the evening, that you imagine something with coconut milk like curry are sitting there fermenting. That's when you tend to end up with tummy bugs. Okay?
Yeah.
It will turn. So try and go. Most foods are freshly cooked, like the char kway teow or the noodles. There's different types, the con lo mee or wonton mee. But the price is roughly around, 6 ringgit for a plate, of noodles, 5 to 6 ringgit. So that's pretty good.
That's lovely. Yeah, the U.S. right now is about 4 to 1, so that's $1.50 for a meal.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
And a substantial meal. You get the Chinese sausage, the prawns, bean sprouts, Chinese chives. Really nice meal for, such an amazing price and freshly cooked. And then you can get things like, there's other stalls around. So because I love food and I'm a foodie, I tend to sort of find out nice places to eat. The other good place which sells the national dish of Malaysia, which is called nasi lemak, NASI LEMAK, which is the coconut rice with the sambal, and it's a place called the Village Park. Now, we call it Mahathir's nasi lemak because actually our Prime Minister is his favorite haunt. We actually met him there when we went for one of the meals, and that is in Uptown, which is another area that if you have Google Maps, you'll know where to go for that,
Sounds lovely.
Excellent place. Again, very reasonable. I think he charges about 6.50, 7. It's always packed, but you just queue and get in. It just shows how good the food is,
Yeah, so you're typically paying less than $1, and much less, around $1, about just a little over £1 sterling for your meals.
Absolutely. But if you want good food, Malaysia caters for, these are like hawker foods, stall foods. Village Park is actually like a cafe, it's like a restaurant because it's got aircon, and there's areas with awnings where you can sit in. You're not in the open air, because Uptown is quite a busy area, offices and shops, and there's a place in Uptown. There's also a place called Starling, which is a shopping mall. But if you want to go a little bit more upmarket, the area where we are, we've got a place called Village Grocer where you get your typical supermarket and you can get most of the imported stuff. If you're looking for things like horseradish sauce or mint sauce or that sort of stuff, you'll get it there.
Right.
It's Village Grocer. And there they've got a food court that they do Japanese food, and they've got some nice restaurants like a Chinese, a bit more than you may pay. Like for my husband and me, we have a lovely meal there in the Chinese. I can't remember the name of the restaurant that we go to, but it's roughly about say 25 ringgit.
Yeah.
So, and that's really good. And of course, I would recommend if you want really, really good Chinese food, go to Dragon Eye. Now, they're a bit more pricey. You may pay, because the food is really, really authentic Chinese food, and you would pay maybe 70 ringgit, 70, 80 ringgit for the two of us,
Right.
But if you want just one dish, it's like the noodles, it's handmade noodles, then they do it in front of you, and the Shanghainese dumplings and things like that. And you might get that for 18 ringgit. So it's a bit more than what you pay for the hawker stalls. But this is in the Curve, which is the big shopping mall, right? Dragon Eye is all over. There's another big shopping mall called One Utama, and they've got lots of different food stalls. The food is amazing in Malaysia, very authentic.
Yeah. I have to agree. It's priced well, and I appreciate your caution about the food safety earlier. But I actually have never been sick in Malaysia. I've probably spent maybe 2 to 3 years in the last 5 years here, and I haven't gotten sick, so I've been lucky. I find the food in Malaysia to be safe and delicious and priced right. Let me ask you, in terms of for someone who's coming to Malaysia and they're thinking about retiring here, what are some of the places in Malaysia that that are your favorites? That if you're going to if friends are coming to the country to visit while you're here, that you would like to take them to, or that you do take them to? What are some of your favorite weekend or week-long places you like to take friends in Malaysia, if you do?
Depending on the age group, because we are retired, we're both in our 70s, so we don't look for the nightlife and stuff like that. But there's a lot of nice pubs, like Irish pubs and that. But there is a very good service called the hot on, hot off bus. I think it's about 90 or 80 ringgit, but that is valid for 24 hours, and literally it is. So if you buy your ticket at 2 p.m. on, say, today, it is valid till 2 p.m. the next day, so you can use it again. And it takes you to a lot of sites. We take people to Tugu Negara, which is a national monument, which is an interesting place. It's the biggest collection of bronze figures in the world. I mean, when I'm going back to the 1960s, I don't know, I think 𝐈𝐿𝐵𝐼𝐻 was one of those 6 figures, but I think we have 7 figures, okay? So that's what it is. And the bus will take you to see the different places. There's the bird park, which is quite interesting, and there's an orchid farm, the gardens, and Lake Gardens is an interesting place as well, if you like to see, lovely walks and lovely, beautifully landscaped. The architecture is wonderful. We have, if you're into that, the old colonial site, like the old railway station, some amazing mosques around. You still, there's a textile museum as well. I think Zandra Rhodes had an exhibition in one of them. Malaysia caters for all sorts, so it depends what you want. Where to go, like Sunway Pyramid, Sunway Lagoon. That's a good area for younger people. That there's a theme park there. We tend to go out towards 𝐂𝐴 because the drive is not too far. The roads are good. That hot springs further down towards 𝐂𝐴, I think it's called Tambun. We used to be under Portuguese rule, towards Malacca. I went to boarding school in Malacca, so I love Malacca. Is very similar to Penang in the sense of they were both straight settlements.
Yes.
A lot of history there. And so there's a beautiful lighthouse. We did a walk there through the forest and went up. We tend to just because it's changed so much. I've left home, I left Malaysia in 1969 when I was 21. So things have really changed, and we've developed a lot of interesting places. So I can only tell you what we do in Malaysia, and we just find it's such a great lifestyle. You want food, you just go out. Our normal routine is get up in the morning, have a swim, and then decide where you want to go for food. In Kota Damansara, there's also a very good dim sum place. If you know what dim sums are. It's called Jin Swan, and you'll find it. Kota Damansara, the food court there is amazing, and then there's supermarkets around. Areas that I've met, expat stays, I met a Scottish couple. Mount 𝐂𝐻 is a nice area. There's an international school there. But as you say, it's for retirees. This couple live there. That's a slightly more expensive area, We bought this place because it was within our budget. But as I said now, that has really gone up well, from $250,000, double, maybe 3 times. Because I'm sure someone said it's 1 to 1.5 million now is the minimum that an expat can buy a property you know.
And with your house, when you're, two things come to mind. One, when you're out of the country, do you just lock it up and go away, or do you have family that stays there? And the other thing is, do you own a car in Malaysia, or do you use Grab car, or how do you get around?
We have a car. We bought a Proton Saga, the cheapest car we could buy, because we needed a running around. We thought we could depend on taxis, but now Grab's pretty good. But still, you know, when you want to go to the market or somewhere, you really do need a car, you know, unless you're happy to stand around in the heat, which I am not. So we decided to buy the car. I mean, we are very fortunate. We have good neighbors. We do lock up the apartment. That's the other thing. When you come to Malaysia, you know, I fine-tune the way we operate, because because we closed our apartment up for 7 months, and because of the humidity, we leave a lot of our clothes and shoes and things out there. So I go around and I buy these dehumidifiers, you know, these things, and put them in all my cupboards, like move all my clothes and my bedding into one wardrobe, you know, and then put these in. But we are very blessed with very good neighbors. So I have a neighbor that goes in, checks the place out. Although because we have security, the place is very safe. You know, we always recommend someone buy not a ground floor apartment, because of the humidity. Ground floor, if you're locking it up, you tend to get more damp in it.
I see. And if I could ask about, what do you spend per month when you're at the time of the year that you're living in Malaysia? What would you guess, if you were to guess?
Sorry, what's that?
About how much do you budget per month? I understand you probably paid off your apartment, but other than that, about how much per month does it cost you to live in Malaysia while you're here?
Oh, I mean, like for food and petrol is so cheap. We fill the car up in Scotland for £50 to fill up the car, and in Malaysia it's 50 ringgit. That's the difference in petrol costs. Okay,
wow. So
it's like £10 to fill. The Proton Saga, which is a 1.3 engine vehicle. To live, oh gosh, now you're asking. I mean, we have our pensions, so, and again, you know, Malaysia, you could just go to an ATM. Spending, I would say, if you eat cheaply, I mean, you can go out and spend 500 ringgit on a meal if you wanted to. You know, there are places like that. So, but if you live like we do, like, you know, you eat out, I cook at home, I go to the wet market or the supermarket. So I would say about 3,000 ringgit.
Per month?
Yeah.
Okay. And at 5 to 1, you spend about £600 a month to live.
That's taking into account, you know, it probably could be a bit less, because, you know, we tend to go out and eat well, you know.
Right.
But if you decide not to, you probably could be quite happy, you know, if it's just for food and petrol and, you know, just having a quiet life.
Yeah. And what would you say your apartment would rent for if you needed to rent it, if you didn't own it? Any idea?
Well, ours was valued at around 2,500. But we have a really nice apartment. It's 3 bedrooms. We have a 25-meter pool. We have a gym. We have tennis court, badminton court. But yeah, I think you can get quite a nice apartment for around. Depends on the area you want to live in. You know, our area is fine. It's not the kind of more. Mount 𝐂𝐻𝐿 is more expensive. So about 2,000.
Yeah, so £2,000. I think you said you're at 5 to 1. So that's ringgit. So that's another £400 in British pound sterling. So you're living for around £1,000 per month while you're in Malaysia. Does that sound right?
I suppose, yeah. because I'm sorry, I've never put figures on it because obviously, we just withdraw money and just spend,
Right.
and we live with that budget.
Yeah.
Whereas, and then of course we're not paying, we bought it cash, the apartment.
Right, right.
Or we bought it, not to say just cash, but we bought it at developer's price. So as the apartment was being built, they asked us for the money and we just paid them.
Right, right. So would you say that it costs you less than half as much to live in Malaysia, or about half? How would you categorize?
Definitely, because food in this country is pretty pricey, and if you're happy to live eating, being a local in the sense of, not expecting to get like bacon, sausage. If you want really good bacon, like, we are very particular about the bacon we eat, and so to buy good British bacon in Malaysia costs you £1 a ration. Okay?
Right.
So, you decide, you want bacon or you want to eat locally. So if you prepare, but if you want to eat according, have a kind of British lifestyle and buy meat, good Australian beef, and that's definitely a lot more.
Well said. Well said. I mean, and that's true. It seems to be true all over the world. If you're enjoying life as a local, you're going to pay local prices. If you want to enjoy life, if you will, internationally, you're going to pay international prices. Absolutely.
Yeah. The cost of meat is expensive, and then we try not to. We just, I go to the wet market, which is very good and the best place to go. And I realize, over the years now, I see a lot more Caucasians going to the wet market because you get the best veg, it's fresh, reasonable. They're not the cheapest, but and I've got my local contacts. I go to someone for chicken, I go to someone for fish, so they get to know you. I go to someone for local herbs. You get lovely bananas like the king banana that you will not get in the supermarket. But human nature is such that, isn't it ironic? And I think the bananas in Malaysia are so amazing, same like Thailand or wherever. But people will go for the Cavendish, which is the bananas that you get in the UK. That's all you get. And I think, wow, it's same with mushrooms. We get like shiitake and oyster mushrooms really cheap in Malaysia, but the locals will buy the white button, mushrooms.
Yes.
I'm thinking, once I did ask someone, because I'm a cook and, I love food, I said, why do you buy these? She said, oh, it's a change. And I'm thinking, no, it's just a snobbery thing,
Exactly.
Attention to me. And I'm thinking, the oyster mushrooms are so tasty, so the shiitake, so why are you buying this?
Exactly.
But it's human nature, That's
And
the way the world goes round.
They always wonder if the world is a safe place. I'm just curious. I know what I feel, but I'm wondering how you feel about it. When I'm in Malaysia, honestly, I feel as safe here as I do in Scotland or in the U.S., and in some cases even safer. I'm wondering what your perception is about safety.
I think it's pretty safe, although, you would hear from locals like to scaremonger, and they'll say, oh, don't go out at night. I would go to Tesco's because Tesco's is open till 1 in the morning. I'm so used, like in Scotland, I just go everywhere, on my own. And my neighbor said, like, someone got robbed at the petrol station. I said, really? She said, then they took the car, blah, blah, blah. I said, it's luck, but I don't feel threatened. In fact, I felt more threatened in Wales than I do in Malaysia. No, I never feel threatened. And we tend to use the MRT a lot. It is an amazing way of, getting you from A to B without getting stuck in the traffic jam. But again, it's the Malaysian mentality. A lot of people that have cars feel, I can't use it, it's beneath me to use the MRT. They're shocked that we use it. I have a very wealthy cousin, and I had to take his family on the MRT because they'd never been on it, and it was a novelty for them to go on it. To the point my cousin said, you needed my cousin from Scotland to come and take you all on the MRT, but it's a great way of traveling. And safety, definitely, I think it's safe. As long as you're sensible, you don't go around flashing your diamonds or having designer handbags with you when you're walking around. You know, I just dress normally and go around. Everyone's very helpful and friendly.
Very friendly, and that's true all over the world. I think you have to be smart about how you dress and be aware of your surroundings, no matter where you are in the world.
Little areas, they all have, you know, you're like self-contained, so you don't have to go like into the city, you know.
Right.
There's stuff for everyone in, like, you know, like this area where we are now, Sunway Damansara Coast. When we moved here 14 years ago, there was one guy selling Indian food, right? You know, the nasi kanda. And we used to think, and I remember my son was working out here, and he said, "Mom, you bought this place in this dump of a place." And we said, "Oh, well, we like the place." And today, it has become, as I told you, the Golden Triangle. You know, they just developed it so fast, you know. And I think we're going to be having one of the biggest shopping malls compared to the city, so people don't have to go into the city. But I definitely recommend anyone comes here. Transport now with Grab and the MRT. If you buy an apartment that's not too isolated, that you know you've got good transport system. Like for where we live, it's a 5-minute walk to the MRT station.
Thanks so much, and it's been really a big help, I think, for people to hear from someone who's had such a long experience here, who's even grew up here, and that you wanted to come back and spend time in the cold time of year. I think it says a lot about Malaysia that you made that choice.
Yes, we feel very safe there. It's that, you know, we were thinking in old age, I think looking around, you'd have a better lifestyle, like a nurse. You know, there's a lot of Filipinos that do that. And I see the elderly people that are really, you know, in wheelchairs. And what a lovely lifestyle they have. You know, you could pay a fortune in Scotland and get neglected in a home. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's the next stage. Hopefully a long time to go yet.
No, that's a really good point. You could, and like you have a 3-bedroom. If you wanted to, you could move in a highly trained nurse, and that would be cheaper and a better life for both you and the nurse than if you lived in a home in Scotland, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, definitely, because you know here it's very expensive and that it's really not good. So you know, this is something we've been thinking of. You know, if we ever got sort of be incapacitated that we can't just to be in a wheelchair, I think you have a better lifestyle in Malaysia. But it all depends on whether you get, you know, it's luck. I think in life there's a lot of luck in it. You know, if you can find someone good, we never feel threatened. I just get a friend and we just go into the city, you know, on the MRT, no problem. Come back, so convenient. Pick the car up because they have car parks where you can park your car. You don't have to walk from the condo, and then just go in, you know. And transport is one of the best transport links I think in Malaysia has to offer anyone, you know, because, and as I said, if you want to visit sites, you know, the hop on, hop off bus is a very good one because it will take you, and you can pick it up anywhere, you know, along the way. And some, you know, there's a lot of things for people to do. For example, I think in KLCC, which is the Twin Towers, that's a good thing for the children, which is called petrol science. You know, they're simulating helicopters and things. And within, because, you know, although it's a city, they've got gardens around it, so you feel you've got a lot of lovely greenery around you as well. You can walk around, and as far as, you know, food's concerned, every area has got food, you know.
Well,
I hope I'm being quite helpful.
Oh, you've been, I think you've been the greatest kind of help, the information, and thank you so much.
Are you in Malaysia for long?
I'm here, I've been here about 3 weeks so far. I'll be here for another 2 weeks. We're going to head up into Thailand and spend a couple months in Thailand, and then we're going to go to Vietnam, spend a couple months there, stop by Cambodia as we head south, and then we'll be back in Malaysia for Chinese New Year.
Oh, well, give us a ring, or you know, send emails, and because we will be there in November, and we'll be there till April. I think we leave 31st of March or 1st of April. I think, yeah, we get home 1st of April.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So,
We'll give you a ring when we're in town.
Yeah, so, keep in touch with email, and if you want any more info, just, we'll do a call again,
Thank you so much. We really appreciate
welcome.
it. You take care.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, could you please like it, subscribe, or comment? Any of those would increase our rankings in the search engines, which would help our business greatly. Thanks so much in advance.